We are about to dive into a single, breathtaking piece of marble, an ancient statue that was lost for centuries, only to be rediscovered in a way that basically changed the course of European art.
It really did.
Today we're looking at the Laocoon group. It's a sculpture that captures just the absolute peak of human suffering, technical skill, and mythological tragedy.
It's incredible to think about this one object. When it was found, it wasn't just another nice antique, it was a major art historical event.
So tell us about that discovery, because it sounds less like an archaeological dig and more like something from a movie.
It really was. So the year is 1506. A vineyard owner in Rome is doing some digging on his property.
Okay.
And this land is near the ruins of what used to be Emperor Nero's huge palace. And he hits something massive. And out of the earth comes this monumental marble sculpture of three figures.
I just love that idea of instant shocking history. This wasn't some unknown artifact, was it? They sort of knew what it was?
Yeah. They knew exactly what it was. The minute it was cleaned up, scholars realized they'd found the specific masterpiece described by the ancient Roman writer Pliny the Elder.
And for anyone who might not know Pliny, he was basically the ancient world's top art critic and cataloger. If Pliny wrote about it, it was a massive deal.
Precisely. His writing was like the official record of the greatest art of antiquity, and the drama didn't stop there.
Oh.
We know that the greatest artist of the age, Michelangelo, was actually there when they pulled it out of the ground.
No way. Imagine being that vineyard owner. You think you found a big rock, and suddenly the most famous artist of the Renaissance is standing there in the dirt next to you.
Can you imagine? Yeah. The Pope bought it almost immediately, recognizing how important it was. And that piece is still there today in the Vatican museums. It's one of the most famous ancient sculptures in the world.
And what you're seeing when you look at it isn't a quiet moment. It's violent. It's terrifying. Who is this central figure? What's the story here?
You're looking at Laocoon. He was a Trojan priest, and he's caught in this moment of divine punishment. The myth is tied to the end of the Trojan War.
Ah, the Trojan horse.
Exactly. Laocoon was the voice of reason. He was trying to warn his fellow Trojans, do not bring that giant wooden horse into the city. He's the one who said he feared the Greeks even when they brought gifts.
Which is, incredibly good advice. But in these myths, getting in the way of the gods' plans, that never ends well for the human involved.
He paid the ultimate price. The gods wanted Troy to be destroyed, so they were furious with him. As punishment for trying to stop their plan, they sent two gigantic sea serpents across the water to attack him and his two young sons.
And the statue freezes that exact, desperate second of the attack. It's just this incredibly powerful image of human helplessness.
It is. It's a conflict where humans are caught in the crossfire of the gods. You see the tragedy of the entire Trojan War, really, distilled into the faces of this one family.
The intensity of this scene, it leads us right into the art period it belongs to, right? The Hellenistic era. This is key to understanding why it looks the way it does.
Yes, this piece is the textbook example of the Hellenistic style. And to get it, you have to know what came before it, which was the classical period.
The classical period, so think of the Parthenon. Those serene, perfectly balanced statues of athletes. Everything's very calm, very idealized.
Right. Perfection and tranquility were the goals. But the Hellenistic period, which started after Alexander the Great died, saw a radical shift. The world wasn't so calm and ordered anymore, and artists, they deliberately walked away from that peaceful idealism. They wanted to show life as it actually was, messy, dynamic, dramatic.
So if classical art was like a calm portrait, Hellenistic art was a full-blown action movie.
That is a perfect way to put it. The new focus was all about intense movement, theatrical effects, and showing strong, often painful human feelings. The Laocoon group is just bursting with that energy.
You said movement. How do they even do that? How do you make hard stone look so chaotic and alive?
They used a specific technique, deep carving. By cutting really deep into the marble, they created these harsh shadows. It creates this powerful three-dimensional effect that makes the figures almost pop out at you. They look less like solid rock and more like twisting, struggling bodies.
And if the movement is what grabs you first, it's the agony on Laocoon's face that really sticks with you. It is so far from the peaceful faces you see on older Greek statues.
That face is the heart of the drama. You see this crushing physical suffering, but also mental agony. His mouth is slightly open, like he's letting out this final desperate cry for help.
And his sons, that adds a whole other layer, doesn't
It
it?
really does. It turns it from just personal suffering into this total destruction of a family. The boys are looking toward their father, and their faces are just pure terror. One son looks totally doomed, wrapped up in the snake, while the other seems to be trying to pull himself free, looking back in horror.
This shift from showing the perfect, ideal human to showing this raw, difficult, painful truth, that must have been shocking at the time.
It was a very conscious choice. The sculptors wanted you, the audience, to connect with the fear and the sadness on a personal level. And by focusing on raw emotion like this, the art becomes universal. Even today, you understand that desperate love for your children, and you understand physical pain.
And speaking of the physical, this is where the genius is just undeniable, the anatomy. These artists didn't just know what a body looked like. They knew what it looked like when it was straining to its absolute limit.
Their understanding of a body under stress is just, well, it's unparalleled. Look at Laocoon's torso. Every single muscle is tensed and visible as he tries to break free.
It's not just heroic muscles, it's strained muscles.
Precisely. If you look at his arms, you can actually see veins carved into the marble. That's a startling level of detail. And where the snake's coils press into his skin, the marble actually looks like it's folding and straining.
That is just astonishing, to make
Yeah.
hard, unforgiving marble look like soft, suffering flesh.
It's a complete masterclass in technical skill. The proportions are heroic, sure, but they're also natural and lifelike. This is why art students, even today, study this sculpture, to learn how to draw the human body correctly under physical stress.
Okay, so we have this incredible emotional story and the amazing anatomical realism. But none of it would work without the composition. It's not just three figures standing there, it's like a unified explosion of chaos.
The arrangement is incredibly complex and it's all intentional. The three figures and the snakes are all carefully positioned to form this kind of dynamic pyramid shape.
And that pyramid shape, that's not just to look cool, right?
Wow.
It has a purpose.
It acts as a visual funnel.
Yeah.
It stabilizes the whole group, but it also guides your eye upward, right to the peak of the drama, Laocoon's anguished face.
And the snakes are the masterstroke here. They're the enemy, but they're also what holds the whole thing together.
Yes, they create what we call unity in chaos. Their coils wrap around everyone's limbs, literally tying the group together. So even though they're all struggling, the whole thing works as one single interconnected unit.
You also see all these diagonal lines everywhere. His legs, his arms, that must add to the frantic, unstable feeling.
Absolutely. The tension and lack of balance from those diagonal lines, it gives you these new dramatic perspectives as you walk around the statue. The story almost changes depending on your angle.
We're talking about a massive piece of high-quality marble. To carve something this detailed, this large, it must have been unbelievably difficult.
It would have required incredible patience. A mistake at this scale could ruin years of work, and the scale itself is imposing. The statue is a little bit larger than life size. Laocoon himself is almost 7 feet tall.
That massive size makes sure you, the viewer, feel completely overwhelmed.
It maximizes the power of the spectacle. This was Hellenistic art at its absolute finest.
So who are the masters behind this? This level of complexity feels like it had to be a team effort.
It was. Historical records tell us it was a team of 3 artists, Hagisandros, Polydoros, and Athenodoros. They were all master sculptors from the island of Rhodes.
So they were probably part of a big, sophisticated workshop.
Exactly. They were part of a famous school of sculpture known for their dramatic, large-scale work. Working together let them achieve this just unbelievable level of detail and emotional power.
But the influence of the Laocoon didn't end when the Roman Empire fell. Its rediscovery in 1506 had a huge transformative effect on Western art.
Oh, a massive impact. It really set the stage for the rest of the Renaissance and then the Baroque period. We know that Michelangelo, who saw it come out of the ground, was just captivated. He studied the tension in the muscles, the dynamic pose, the raw realism.
And it wasn't just admiration, right? This actually changed his own art.
It forced him to rethink his own style. His figures, especially in later works like the Sistine Chapel, they took on this new level of muscular tension and dramatic power that you can trace directly back to the Laocoon. He realized that raw human pain could be just as awe-inspiring as perfect beauty.
So this one ancient statue basically became the benchmark for how to show tragedy and anatomy for the next 400 years of European art.
Absolutely. It became the definitive model. Art schools all over Europe had plaster casts of it, and students were required to study and draw it. It was the gold standard for depicting pain and the human form in struggle.
Thousands of years later, millions of people still go to the Vatican every year to see the original.
And conservators are still working to protect it. They've reattached missing parts over the centuries to restore it. It really is this unbroken bridge connecting the incredible skill of the ancient world with our modern understanding of creativity.
The Laocoon group just perfectly captures the drama, the suffering, and the breathtaking technical mastery of the Hellenistic era. Its study of emotion and anatomy ensured its influence would last for millennia.
It's an absolute
So
masterpiece.
what does this all mean for you? Well, think about how artists decide whether to show us perfect, serene beauty or raw, difficult truth. Which kind of art do you think ultimately creates a more lasting, unforgettable memory?
Good luck with your studies.